doing a time lapse in a second here. And we have our big boy, our Russian equalizer. This is our pulsed Chembuster at 60 pounds and 3 feet tall. And these copper earth pipes are filled with orgonite. And the ideal place to ground and do some chembusting is at the beach, where you have all the sand and quartz and negative ions. And what the goal is basically to connect the scalar potentials of the earth with that of the sun. That creates harmony and balance. And Harold Kutzweiler has talked about that a little bit, and I've found that to be very true in my observations as well. It works on human intent as well. So I like to say a prayer. I like to state my intentions, and then you know, turn on the pulse here, and then just sit back and observe. So we're going to do one that's going to last pretty much to the end of the day, or as long as we can go here. And the reason why we're filling it up with water here in this organic soil is because water is an excellent conductor of life force. Life is light, and so conductor of light. And so when you have water and you have Orgone energy, you're able to kind of amplify the field of the scalar wave structures, potentials, and especially with the pulse, and that subtle electrical current is also amplifying everything. And naturally, an orgonite pyramid will amplify. If you look at the power of quartz, they're oscillators. They amplify energy, and so we pulse the Orgone matrix, which is already amplifying the energy and transmitting it. And we're just going to kind of call on our friend water here. And ideally this would be in the earth, but I can't really dig huge holes in my yard. So we're going to go for the next best thing. And we filled this up with organic soil, and these pipes, which are filled with orgonite, are grounding into them. And so basically we're going to see what happens once we turn on the time lapse. And we have a mid-mild spray day today, where they're just kind of spraying from every direction. Since we brought it out, it's been a little more blue and clear overhead. Now the goal of chembusting is to cause chem fails, transmutation clouds, where they look more full and healthy, not so wispy and two-dimensional. And we want the deep blue, the Orgone blue, remaining in the background. That's our goal, and we see it as a success if that's what we see. We don't want to get whited out, obviously, and we want to create harmony in the sky.
Ask yourself the question: are the sky and the earth in harmony with each other? Are they resonating on the same frequencies or not? And the thing is, if they resonate on the same frequency, then the two field structures can unite and print out scalar structures, scalar fields. This is what we call life.
All right, so it's later in the day. We had to cut our time lapse short. We just filled this up with a little more water. Today we experienced a massive spray day, and you can see they're still spraying over here. See those trails right there? So a massive spray day is when they're spraying overhead, and the trails are also blowing in from the coast. And that's what we saw today. We thought it would be a light, mild spray day, but it turned out to be a lot worse than it was. So I've seen days like this where we're completely whited out. Not the case today. You can see the deep blue overhead. And I take this as a victory, because I've seen many a day where we were not chembusting, we were not sending out our energies, and we get completely whited out, wiped out too. And then you go out in public and you see that people are barely even noticing this, and which makes it even more disturbing. So this is the next day after we did the time lapse yesterday, and we have a very similar day. You can see the deep blue overhead, and they have been spraying all morning. I mean, it started out beautiful clear blue, and then you could see them just taking over. But look at these chemtrails right here. That is the definition of a chemtrail, something that just kind of fizzles out and disappears, and you have the deep blue behind it. I mean, look at this non-stop spraying. You know, I had someone message me saying, why do they spray? Well, many reasons, many reasons, which we've talked about in the past. We can talk about geoengineering and chemtrails more if that would be beneficial, but I mean, look at these fake clouds. But the key for me, again, is the deep blue, chemtrails, or transmutation. It probably depends on what is in these sprays. They're all different, and how they react to the life force energy, you know, when it gets up there. All right, it's a little later in the day, about 4 o'clock. They've still been spraying, but we've seen chemtrail after chemtrail. I haven't been able to document everything like I'd like. I'm working here, but yeah, whatever they're spraying today is completely just fizzling out. And we have a deep blue. I mean, the blue overhead is just amazingly blue. And got these guys in the distance, but again, you prove the existence of life force, how it affects plants, animals, water, the sky, and humans. If humans are sleeping, dreaming, and feeling better, if plants are growing fuller, thicker, faster, if animals gravitate towards them, and if there's a vortex in the water.